At least 5 were killed during 3 days of sectarian violence in Lebanon. Clashes are linked to unrest in neighboring Syria, pitting President Assad supporters against his opponents there. RT's Paula Slier reports.
The clashes broke out between those who support the Syrian presidency of Bashar Assad and those who are opposed to it. It comes in the light of observers in this region expressing concern for quite some time now that the violence and instability in Syria will spill over into the rest of the region. Lebanon is a close neighbor and it shares political and sectarian ties as well as rivalries with Syria. Now, out of concern that the violence would spread further into Lebanon, the Lebanese army has deployed 3 more units. The violence started on Saturday when an Islamist by the name of Shadi Malawi was arrested. He was accused of having links with terrorist organizations, but his arrest did cause Islamists to go to the streets of the city of Tripoli. They closed the entrances to the north and the south. They also staged a sit-in and they held up the Syrian flag of independence. For some time now, Damascus has been warning that arms as well as fighters are being smuggled into Lebanon and being used to assist the rebels in Syria fight and take on the Syrian regime of Bashar Assad. Just on Thursday, we saw the deadliest string of suicide bombings with some 55 people killed in Syria. And what we're hearing from the Syrian regime is that it is being targeted by a terrorist alliance of Al-Khair and other elements that are backed by regional powers. But as my colleague Sarah Firth reports, there's also a growing sense that a third player is involved. Let's take a look.
It was a little-known terror group, the Al-Nusra Front, that claimed responsibility for last week's massive bombing in Syria. The blast, carried out in a busy residential area, designed to cause maximum damage. Damascus, which for so long had seemed to remain sheltered from the conflict throughout the rest of the country, has in recent months found itself the target of an increased bombing campaign. This latest explosion, considered the largest one, you can just see the devastation that it's caused here. At the scene, angry crowds had decried them as terrorist acts, shouting blame at Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It's blame that many analysts share, saying those countries' actions are undermining the peace process.
If you reduced or stopped the supporting of United States of America and Saudi Arabia and Qatar supporting guns to the rebels, everything will be finished within 2 months. But if they want to continue supporting them, they want the chaos in the region.
Treading amongst the rubble as people show us the ruins of their homes in what is one of Damascus's poorest neighborhoods, there's a real sense of a revolution spinning out of control. Syria's uprising began as a peaceful pro-democracy movement, but has splintered into a confusing mix of various groups, political and non-political, armed and unarmed, and the continued instability here has left the country wide open to attacks like this taking place.
Now it's a problem, it's a dilemma for the Syrians, that the policy of the regime provided the chance for everyone in the world to interfere in the Syrian affair, either by providing arms, or providing funds, or providing fighters and soldiers and terrorists.
As people are left to bury their dead, and with the hospitals full, the Syrian people are once again left trying to rebuild their homes and their lives. And the focus has once again turned to the ongoing peace mission, which is looking more and more fragile by the day. A wall is now in place around the blast site, a stark reminder that terror has served only as yet another barrier to peace here. Sarah Firth, RT, Syria.